Welcome to Palau Podcast. We deliver campus news and provide entertainment for HonCC. I'm your host, Alan, alongside with my other two co-hosts, Bryson and Christopher.
Aloha.
Mahalo.
Okay.
Today's episode, we'll be having a chat with HonCC Student Life Director, Emily Kikili. Hello, Emily.
Hi, guys.
Hi. How you
Okay.
doing?
I'm doing okay. Hanging in there.
Chugging along. We all have that feeling.
Emily, how was the fall semester for you?
Oh, the fall semester was challenging. Doing
hmm
remote student life is definitely different than in-person student life. But we made the best of it, and I think that the student leaders have done a great job.
Thank you.
You're
Wow.
welcome. Well deserved.
You too. You've been doing a very good job.
Thanks.
Yeah. I don't know how you're able to do back-to-back Zoom meetings.
I know.
Crazy.
There are some days when I feel like my brain turns to mush and starts leaking out my ears.
Ooh.
So what kind of struggles you had during this interesting time?
I think some of the struggles that I've had are as the college and the university are adapting to, working remotely and also trying to have coverage in person. There's just been a lot of policy and procedural changes, or a lot of things that, they take time for decisions to be made. So you have to be really patient and really flexible, just really keep a good attitude through the whole thing. So that's been what I've been working on.
Yeah. I think a lot of people don't realize that the college is can get very political sometimes
Right.
when it comes to policies that they want and the different uh, things that they want to accomplish.
At least they're trying.
Right. Hopefully.
Any adjustments you had to make to keep up with your struggles, or how did you handle them?
Sure, we've made a lot of adjustments. I think the most difficult part since COVID hit has been that, initially for student life and development, we had a really big team of student leaders and student employees, and then they decided to not fund them anymore. And so we had quite a large gap of time most of the summer without any student employees and no student leader meetings. And so because of that, we're sort of behind for fall. As you all know, we got our budget approved, in October, when normally that budget would have been approved in May or June. And then we would have been able to spend all summer planning for what we were going to do for the fall semester. So just be behind all semester and feeling like constantly playing catch up, or trying to make sure that we still get benefit out to our fall students and that they can have the best experience, even though we're a little bit behind.
Yeah, I think summer would really help for us to plan better activities and events. And I think we were supposed to go to like a camp during the summer.
Right. Normally, there's a summer student leader retreat, and we spend a really long weekend. Usually, we go to a camp or have a retreat somewhere off campus, and we start with our student leadership training there. And then we come back into the offices, knowing each other better, having some of the main ideas, and we work on executing schedules and working on some of the more technology based things we need to do, like calendaring and forms. And so that sets us up for turning in the budget and getting it approved before the fiscal year or financial year starts on July 1. So all May and June are busy months for student life until we get the budget turned in, and then we have a little bit of a break while we wait for it to come back. And then we dive in for July and August normally. So all of that work for you all as student leaders was condensed into September, basically. So we had the month of September where we were trying to do all of those things. But the big difference is you were also in school and also dealing with COVID and also working second jobs. And so, you know, it's much more difficult. You don't have 15, 16 hours a day to just be doing student leadership like you would if we were at a summer camp.
To balance between school and working remotely, I think for all of us.
Yeah.
Definitely. I try to respect the balance that it takes for you all to balance, you asked me about being on Zoom meetings all day. You're in class and you need your break and you need time to read your books. And if your books are on your computer, then your eyes are strained from looking at that. So I feel bad sometimes when I'm like, here's one more thing I need you to read and one more form I need you to complete. So I'm hoping the student leadership experience and being involved is enriching your experience and not being one more burden.
Yeah, totally. I would agree with that. I don't know how to explain it, but this semester felt like I was out of control for a lot of things. Like it was more of a juggling act than having set ideals, having goals, and stuff like that. But being a part, just recently joining, I felt like I was able to help with not just my sanity, but just the organization and making a difference on campus. So I was really glad that I was able to be a part of this.
It's great to hear. How about you guys? How's the rest of y'all doing?
I had to make a lot of adjustments. I think for me, like the biggest thing that I had to really adjust is the amount of time that I would usually spend uh, for myself
Hmm.
to like relax and to take a breather. Because normally uh, I like really I really like reading books a lot. So I usually have a pile of books that I like to read whenever I'm done with like class. But with online, it's a bit rough because uh, I would usually schedule like the first 3 or 4 days of the week for school, and then the rest of the week I'd be for myself. But it's been hard trying to adjust to that.
Right.
But this is a question for everyone. What are some of the biggest sacrifices that you guys have had to make?
Mm.
I
Just, yeah, you go.
Okay, so I guess I can start it off. My family like to travel a lot. We always like to go around the island or
Uh-huh.
visit other family and friends in their houses. And we, our neighborhood knows this. We like to, like, not necessarily throw a party, but we have dinner, really loud dinners a lot,
Oh.
where we would invite a lot of our friends and um, sometimes our neighbors would come in too.
Mm.
But with COVID, and the social distancing rules and stuff, we've really had to limit that. Um, we still have our dinners, but this time it's just our own family. But it's been nice so far. We were able to connect a little bit more. We've been able to
Mhm.
talk more. Uh, but yeah, I'm trying to like really uh, stay in those dinners with them because it gets boring sometimes.
Yeah, I agree with that. With just, I also have a large family, and we would always like the weekends. We would always come together and just have a potluck or eat together, have some dinner. And nowadays, that's especially hard. And I feel like COVID has, or this whole situation has taught me to kind of scale down my my everyday life. Like before, I would try to do this, do that, and basically fill up my schedule. But then now it's like maybe set things up where I can be very flexible and I can juggle things around. So if I did want to meet some family or I did want to talk to people with friends, get to know people, then it would be much more scaled back. And I feel like that's something we lost, or not lost, but we forget to do, is to take a breather and try not to overextend, especially nowadays. You can't really do that or you're gonna be very stressed out, right? So that kind of breaks into the our next question, what kind of lessons we've learned. So yeah, that's basically the sacrifices of being more out there has become a lesson I've learned. Maybe I shouldn't always be so out there, you know. It's fine to be a little antisocial.
I agree with both of you. Like the loss of spending time with family. 'Cause I don't really see my extended family as much anymore. Like, like it's been probably like a year, probably now. Especially with the real kids. They're like small babies, and then after an entire year, you see them like, oh wow, you've gotten big. Talk about.
I don't know if it's sacrifices that I feel like I'm making.
Hmm.
It's adapting to the
Right,
situation.
right.
And, there are definitely things like the things you missed about seeing groups of people and being able to interact with all of the people that I used to see more often. That definitely has been something that I miss. But, you know, it it's also given me time to, in some ways, interact with people more. So, for example, um, with one side of our family, we have Zoom meetings, Zoom happy hours, and
Mm.
a lot of the family across the whole United States hops on those. And so we've gotten to see those family members and get to know them better than we ever did before COVID, because the California cousins and the Hawaii cousins and the cousins who live everywhere else in the mainland, they're all on these calls. And, we do get to see their kids hop on and get tours of their houses where they live and places we would have never gone. And so that was great, in terms of making the best of a bad situation.
Hmm.
Two situation better than tier one. Um, so at least we can do groups of 5 people. That has definitely made it much better, and I'll be happy when we get to tier three, so we can have 10 people. But yeah, I think we're doing okay.
That's good.
Do you have any like TV shows, movies, books, or music you've been binging or plan to binge during the break?
I am starting to binge and will continue to binge holiday movies this holiday season. So I like all the super cheesy romance stories at Christmas time and the movies about family reunions and crazy holidays. I like all of those. And so that helps me get in the holiday spirit.
Yeah, personally, I feel like you hit the nail on the head with how COVID has given you an opportunity to basically change a bad situation, make the best out of a bad situation, or find new outlets and where in your life that basically is no longer a bad situation, right? Like because I've had meets with families that aren't as large as they were, I get to have more close one-to-one talks with people that I usually would just have a glancing conversation with in a large party, right? But now I can be more intimate with people, and especially intimate with myself. I've had more time to myself, a lot more time to my thoughts, right? So on the topic of like books and movies, I've been reading a lot more and watching a lot more content that I've been pushing away due to work and stuff like and school. So like I said earlier, it's okay to be a bit antisocial now because now is like the best time to be one with yourself, so to speak.
I don't know if antisocial is the right word.
Nah, I had this whole conversation before. Like you can be very talkative and very outgoing and outspoken, but you can totally be antisocial. Not in the sense that you don't like people, but you're very bad with people. Like people
Yeah.
that um are very, I guess you could say toxic. We'll cut this out. This is kind of going off topic, but like yeah. So there's people that
What are you trying
like
to
to be
say?
the center. No. I'm not naming
Which one
names.
of us is it?
Like people can try to be the center of attention. People are like attention getters. Like that can seem like it's social where you're interacting or you're trying to interact with people. But if it's going against the social construct or the social flow of a room or of a situation, then you're basically being antisocial because you're going against what everyone in that area is vibing with. So that's technically is antisocial.
Okay.
My bad. TED Talk over. Um, any hobbies? What?
So
Yeah,
you're
social.
saying if you're not being productive to the conversation, you're antisocial.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
If no one likes you, even though you're talkative, then you're antisocial.
I'm sorry then.
That's okay. I feel like that happens to me a lot. That's why you gotta take a step back, guys. Now is the best time. Take a step back. Re reinvigorate yourself. Find yourself. Maybe you'll find out you're the antisocial person in the group.
And maybe you'll find out that, you have all these dreams and passions that you
Mm-hmm.
weren't giving enough time and attention, and now
Exactly.
you can refocus yourself to give those dreams and passions more attention. I took up
Yeah.
gardening while I was home during COVID, something I had never done before, and now I
Mhm.
love it. I never would have had the time and energy to do that, but since I didn't have a long commute to work anymore, I exchanged that time for attending to growing my own food and gardening, and I think that's going to stay with me now moving forward.
Nice. Yeah, that was you basically answered the question I was about to ask if you had any hobbies you picked up. And gardening is really interesting because we have I feel so bad. I have a garden at my complex. We have our own plot of land and I haven't been going to that and I haven't been like maintaining it. It's mostly my parents now. But what kind of plants have you been growing?
Oh, goodness. I am growing a lot at the moment. I'm growing, let's see what I can see from where I'm sitting right now. I have basil and sunflowers and thyme and arugula and lavender and tomatoes and cucumbers, some succulents, some oregano. Yeah, mint.
Yeah, you gotta get those um, heirloom herbs.
Yeah, so it was a lot of trial and error in the beginning of COVID, and now I'm getting a little bit better at it, so I don't kill as many plants.
Oh no.
But yeah, or I sometimes go into battles with the bugs that are trying to eat the
Mm,
plants before I get to them. So, but it's been fun.
that's good. That's good.
Yeah. Something I've been trying to do a little bit more is get back into uh like science and back into
Whoa.
reading those kinds of things because before I used to always read like new innovations and stuff, like things that might be going on and you know across the nation. So something interesting is I don't know if you guys know about it. This just happened like last week. Elon Musk is trying to get people into Mars by like 2026. So that's really interesting. And then I was able to watch their rocket launch test flight a couple of days ago. So that one was like a thriller because I was really into those kind of things before, and then I kind of fell out of it. But now I'm slowly getting back into it, which is really fun. Just watching those rockets go up.
Christopher the Science Kid.
That was something I was gonna go into the
Oh,
aeronautics, aerospace.
oh yeah. I mean, me too. Honestly, I really wanted to be an aerospace engineer, but a lot of math and physics.
Yeah, I didn't want to do all the math and physics,
Okay. Oh,
but I was
Did you all
watching.
know that HCC has a project that does work with NASA?
oh, no.
Yeah,
Yeah, I had no idea.
but I don't know much about the program. I know NASA is here somewhere.
Yeah, you
Okay.
guys should take a trip over to the STEM Center in virtual, of course,
Uh-huh.
and get to learn more about the rocket program that we have. So students work with students, our campus and other campuses together to help work on a payload project for a rocket, and so it's pretty cool. Maybe we should feature them on a future podcast.
Good idea. Other than gardening, any other things you plan on doing this winter break?
I'm not sure yet.
Keeping it open, I see. I like that.
Any plans on traveling or
Mm.
visiting relatives?
I'm exploring that now. Maybe.
In the works, on the low.
The place you've never been to but wish to go.
I have never been to Australia and New Zealand, and I want to
Ooh,
go. It's just a lot. It's a big, those are big countries, right? With lots of
yeah.
wilderness that I want to explore. So I
Uh,
have been waiting till I had a larger chunk of time to tackle that one.
Specifically in the in those regions do you want to go into?
Wow. Well, there's a lot of diverse ecosystems in Australia. So, I want to snorkel in the Great Barrier Reef, and I want to go on a lot of hikes through the different mountain plains, and in New Zealand, just amazing hikes, and they eat different food. I love experiencing the culinary differences of all of the different countries, and around Australia and New Zealand, they have different regional specialties around from there, because they have, of course, deserts and high forests, and all these different ecosystems produce different local foods that can become a part of their culture. And then I think it would be great to be exposed to the indigenous cultures of those spaces as well, and learn more about those. So there's a lot of aspects to those areas that I want to explore.
I think Australia is a great place to visit. I've always I want to get into traveling a little bit more, um, but I feel like I'm gonna wait until everything has died down.
Yeah. How do you plan to spend your winter break? Christmas or New Year's?
Oh, New Year's. Well, New Year's is usually, I'm not a real fireworks person, in terms of, I'm not the one who buys them and launches them, but everyone else in my neighborhood is. So it is usually very loud on New Year's and a lot of fireworks. And so for many years, I just stay home and enjoy the local neighborhood show. And I also get a little nervous that if something goes wrong, my house is going to burn down. So I stay home on New Year's.
I love New Year's because of the fireworks. So my friend um receives fireworks uh that are very explosive.
Oh no.
So more explosive than what you can get without a permit.
Oh no.
So we
Should you be
usually
should you be
I
saying
usually ask
this?
him.
Well, my family has this tradition for New Year's where if you're celebrating Kaliji, then my family would do a burnout when it turns midnight.
A burnout, like city
Yeah,
burn.
Like
yeah,
cars?
yeah.
So
Does
burn out your
who? Yeah,
tires.
who's the sad person that has to spend hundreds of dollars in tire replacement?
Well, I mean, my uncle worked there. He's a mechanic, so
Oh, so
Oh,
you have
and
spare tires. So
yeah, he fixed
okay.
up his cars and all that.
Wow. See, that's the thing. I even if I could do senior burnout back in high school, I didn't want to because I'm not gonna pay for new tires. Yeah, on the topic of like travel, I've been really eyeing out going to doing like a huge Asia trip, like going to Japan, Korea, China, um, India, just maybe the Philippines, go back and visit family. But yeah, I've been really wanting to visit those places because all of my friends have been going there, and like I feel like oh man, I really want to go and experience all that stuff. The only cool place, a cool place, the only out of country place I've been, uh, places I've been to are the Philippines, Sweden. Oh no, not Sweden. I have not been to Sweden. My bad. Switzerland. That's it.
So I was gonna say Sweden.
I did not go to Sweden.
When did you go?
I did not see meet any Swedes. Oh no, actually I did meet some Swedes at Switzerland.
Switzerland.
Yeah. It was a competition.
Mhm.
So
I want to go into I want to do a Europe trip. I don't
mm,
want to because everyone's doing an Asia trip in
Eurovision.
Japan and Korea, right? I want to go to Europe one where because I have family in Italy, so I was gonna try and visit them, and then we would go to I was thinking France first, and then we'd go down into like Spain, and then go back up through France to Paris, and then uh, through Belgium, Luxembourg, and like
Wow.
Germany, and then go back down through Czechoslovakia
Whoa, okay.
and Austria, you know,
Dang, that's
and
a
then
year trip basically.
yeah, back to Venice. Yeah,
Yeah, man.
I don't know,
Now,
but that's a while ago. That's a
right.
while from now. You know?
Yeah, that's the thing though, because I feel like the best time to travel for is like when you're young, when you have no real um things
Responsibilities.
to hold you down.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's what I hear from a lot of people. Like, oh, take up as much chances as you can to go traveling, because when later in life you're gonna hunker down. But hey, it's different for everyone. Like, obviously, Emily is a keen traveler, and basically, where have you been, Emily?
Oh, goodness. That would be a lot to list. I have the good fortune of I come from a Navy family, so we
Mhm,
moved around a lot as part of my
mhm,
dad's job. So
mm.
I lived my middle school years in the country of Turkey, and I lived ninth and 10th grade in Spain. And so I was there in Europe where you want to go. And so from there, we got to travel all around Europe and North Africa. And so that was great. When I
Wow.
moved here to Hawaii, I studied at the Scheidler College of Business. And so I did a field study studying Asian business in Asia, where we went to different countries. So, in addition to travel just for fun, I was lucky enough to live places or to work it into my education in some cases. My most recent international travel before COVID was that we went to Ecuador. My brother's wife is originally from Ecuador, so it was a great chance to meet her side of the family and explore South America.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Any memorable moments?
Ooh, sure. I really enjoy whitewater rafting, and that is something that you just can't
Whoa.
do in Hawaii. And so we got to do some really excellent whitewater rafting, and they have a lot of places where it's safe to jump off waterfalls. So we did some trekking through where we got to jump off waterfalls into the lagoons below and then kind of float down to the next pool and do the same. And so that was pretty exciting and quite an adventurous trip. There were other cities where it was just nice to be on the beach and relax. And they have some areas where it's really shallow for a long distance into the water. So you can walk like a half mile into the water and the water's only up to your knees. So it's kind of cool. Let's see, what else did I do? Of course, I had to go to the equator and literally stand on the middle of the world, so that was pretty cool. Um, and then, like I said, with the other places I like to go, it was a lot of good eating. I like to try the foods everywhere I go. So there were a lot of farm to table kind of things where we could see the cacao growing and then eat the chocolate that's made right on site, or other different places like that. So,
Dang, that sounds really fun.
Yeah, our cacao's naturally bitter.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
just see. I really want to try that special cacao bean that's processed through an animal's digestive system.
Oh, and they poop it out.
Oh, or it's like, didn't they do that with coffee beans too?
Yeah, I want
Yeah,
to try
they
coffee.
do that with those. Yeah, it's crazy. Apparently, it makes it like
Yeah, I don't drink coffee, but I did pick up some of those kind of coffee beans for other people to try, and
wow.
they were kind of nervous to try it.
I totally would be, but also very curious.
I don't like coffee, but I'll try
Something weird that I find about people that I've traveled with is whenever we go visit places, they will always order food that they're familiar with, and they'll never try the food
Sweet
that's from that
sauce.
place. Yeah.
That's
So
so disappointing.
yeah.
I know. Try it while you're there. You're just not gonna be able to do it either way.
So the last time I traveled was to
it. Yeah.
Dallas, and um the one food I remember is like their deep fried pickles or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty good. I've never heard people deep frying pickles before.
They deep fry everything, man.
Yeah, I can't get over people ordering like McDonald's or something whenever they visit places.
See, that's the thing. When you travel, you gotta get out of your comfort zone. Like that's what traveling is, right?
I enjoy traveling that way, but I do understand that some people can be a lot, if they haven't been exposed to things that are really different for them very often in life. You know, if eating McDonald's while they're in a foreign country makes them feel better, as long at least they got to a foreign country. but but you're right. It's, when you can expand your horizons and take advantage of what's offered locally, that's ideal. But especially when people have been traveling a long time, like weeks and months, I find that often those travelers want some of the comfort food from home.
Right. Yeah, I could totally get with that. Like after a long trip. Yeah. Um, so Secret Santa. What's your opinions on those? No specific Secret Santa event like our Secret Santa, but just Secret Santa in general. Because I have a love-hate relationship with Secret Santa. Like depending on how it's run, I could really hate or just avoid like family Secret Santas, or just want to completely like mess with whoever my person is if I was their Secret Santa.
See, my family is doing Secret Santa this Christmas,
Uh-huh.
but I feel like we had more gifts this year than we did last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'm like, I don't know if Secret Santa's working. Because we were like, oh, let's do Secret Santa, because let's not spend too much, Uh, so we would only buy for whoever our Secret Santa is. And then I'm like, oh, where all these gifts come from? Like, we're walking one day.
Someone breaking the rules and buying more than just their Santa recipient.
Wow, what? So they buy it for more people?
Where are all these gifts coming from, Chris?
Not me, that's for sure.
Maybe they help us out with the Secret Santa.
Yeah, it's the Secret Santa's Secret Santa.
Yeah.
Oh,
The very, very Secret Santa. That for my family this year, we're like sectioning ourselves off instead of doing a whole large Secret Santa that we usually do. We like did like a cousin Secret Santa and the adult Secret Santa, so like our parents and all that, and our cousins. I mean, our cousins were, yeah, a range of ages, and see that's the hard part, is like our older cousins, me including, we wanted to up our price range because they're very materialistic. They want expensive things, of course, but because our age range of cousins is very different, so you got like people or kids in the same Secret Santa that have to buy like a $40 gift. So that's kind of hard. And you can see it. We're using an app called Elfster, if you guys know what that is, to organize it. It's really funny because you can see everyone's lists, and people's lists get very long and extensive. One of my cousins, there's just lists of shoes. Basically, they look the same. They look exactly the same, but all the brands are different. So, yeah, it's just crazy. I'll keep my list a secret though. It's money. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we didn't make a list. We just pick names. So
Oh wow.
I haven't gone shopping yet, so I'm just gonna go buy whatever's on sale.
See that? Like I like not having a list, but I also like having a list because if you don't have a list, then you got to be creative and work off of what you know about that person. But sometimes you just don't know a person well enough and you be very generic. So like you give them money or you give them socks or clothes. But that's why I kind of do like this. So that way people know they're going to get something that they like.
Mhm.
But that's the thing. People forget that Christmas, it's it's for family and getting together. It's not about the gifts, guys. But gifts are great.
Do any of you give gifts this time of year for like charities or good causes out there? So, they have like the angel trees at the
Oh
mall
yeah.
where you can pick the tag and give it, or maybe your family helps, you know, um, do a little food drive to share with other people. I find that helps me get in the Christmas spirit. So I
Mhm.
adopted
Exactly.
an angel tree tag, and I have a little girl who's between 3
Ooh.
and 5 years old. And so it's fun to go shopping for someone who's 3 to 5. And so I'm learning more about preschool toys than I ever knew um, last year, because it's been a while since people in my family were in preschool, or my preschool nieces that I do have, they love clothes, so that's nice. I have some very girly girl nieces that really like clothes, and so they make lots of cute girly clothes for little girls, and so that has been really fun to shop for.
I've never shopped for someone I never knew before. Yeah. What we usually do is at our local church we would sing choir. So I kind of got out of it. But my sister and my niece is still part of it. So they sing choir. Um, but since it's COVID, they can't really go to church. So we're recording a bunch of the songs from home, and then we're just sending it over.
Mm. Yeah, Emily, do you have any plans, or do you know of any plans for winter break or upcoming spring semester that you hope to come through or to get enacted?
Sure, I understand the question. So what kind of stuff that we have
In the works,
to
I
work
guess.
on? I mean, our
Yeah.
winter break, you all know, as student leaders, we plan to have a
Yeah.
student leadership retreat and do a bunch of training and hopefully work on some of our bigger long-term projects and get things ready for the students coming back in the spring semester. So I think we'll make sure that we have some downtime during the break, but it might be pretty busy with work over the break. And then, yeah, that's things coming in spring. We're going to do our virtual involvement fair or our talk story about clubs and organizations. So I'm looking forward to seeing how we can make that, doing it in a way that helps students feel connected to the campus, so, and to our student body. So that as a first try is going to probably have some hiccups, but we're planning it over break.
Nice.
What are some other skills that you want to develop? Some skills that you all want to work on. You're graduating in May, right? So are there any more skills, whether they be school kind of skills or general adulting skills, that you want to learn before you graduate from college?
Yeah, I feel like just getting down, all the software related stuff that we've been learning, like Revit and using Excel sheets, and especially for work related stuff, because that's what we're going to be putting on our resumes and creating portfolios about. So I want to get that, have like a good solid foundation, and I feel like I'm pretty much there. But just branching out the skill set, right? But I also want to get back into woodworking and handyman stuff. Like, I just don't have the equipment, right? So I can say I'm like super amateurish. Like, I haven't been taught by anyone. I didn't take any woodshop classes, but all of that I learned is like on YouTube and all that. And I just like to do, handiwork. So that's the stuff I want to build my skills with, being good with my hands. And pretty much it. Oh, I also want to build a PC.
Build a computer, that's good.
Yeah.
Skills in general, I think getting to learn more about like financing, because that is something that I told myself that I was gonna try and focus into learning more of, like before graduating high school. So I think I did okay in trying to understand most of it, but I still think that there's a lot of things that I should try and learn. Um, I think everyone at my age should try and learn, um, like investing or like
Stocks.
how stocks work, or just how to save up in general.
Mm-hmm. See, I guess I could have said that too.
Yeah.
It's good that you said it.
But
Yeah.
I also want to polish up on my woodworking again, so
Nice.
I can get back into doing that.
During the summer, I tried to teach myself Japanese again,
Whoa.
but then I kind of got lost into it because of school.
Oh no.
So maybe I'll try to get back to it again.
It's one thing to
Yeah.
learn a
Right.
language, but in order to retain it, you have to practice. And so to watch
Consistently.
Japanese things and talk to Japanese speaking people. I got from another student is she converted all of her computer and her phone to the language she was trying to learn.
Oh yeah, I try to do that.
She had to read everything on the web in that language. She read all her email in that language. And so that forced her to get better.
That's good commitment.
Yeah, I want to try. Well, I took Spanish in high school, but the reason why I
Right.
took it is so I can try and learn Italian a little easier, because they have
Whoa.
they have the same root. So a lot of the words are similar, and so I don't know if I want to go back into learning that.
See, I tried to learn Korean last semester. And the best thing I retained was the Korean alphabet. It's
Oh yeah,
really
because like there's only one or two alphabets.
no, man.
Oh
No?
no,
I mean, there's two alphabets. There's Hangul and there's oh, see, I already forgot what it's called, the other one. But then Sino, snap, I messed up. But that's like Chinese based. So Chinese based characters, and then there's the Roman uh, romanized Hangul. It's really fun from what I learned, but I forgot a lot of the words and vocabulary. But the alphabet was really fun to learn because it's Korean language. It's basically English in a slightly. I feel like, oh yeah, it's known to be the one of the easiest Asian languages. So it's basically to learn from English, right? And it's just English with different format. I like the alphabet because what we're taught is regardless of what the alphabet says or what the proper way to spell something, the Korean language is created so that you try to sound as closely to the native language. So if I were to spell my name, I could spell it with the Korean Hangul, like Burai-son, or I could pronounce it and spell it like Bryson, like just that format, which is really interesting because that's just how they roll, I guess.
Anybody else out there have any 2021 goals?
I think the goals that I have are like almost the same goals that I have
For the last
year.
for my whole lifetime.
No, I wanna try and save up to try and I wanna save up for a car this for next year. So
You're no longer gonna drive the Ford.
no, I'm thinking of still keeping it. I was thinking of selling it, but I feel like that's the only family car that we have. So I
Right.
feel like I'm gonna keep it and just get a new one,
Mm,
a better car.
nice, man. Yeah, a car really helps, you know. There was a whole stint like last year where I lost my car and I was just taking the bus. I I grew to appreciate taking the bus because when you drive, you have to drive like you have to pay attention to the road and worry about all everyone, right? But when I was on the bus, oh, I got to sleep. I got to do stuff that I didn't do, and like kind of took it for granted that I had my car. But I also relearned my appreciation for just taking public transportation. And I feel like that's like a Hawaii thing, right? Like everybody wants to get their own car and everybody wants to get on the road and be free, right? But then now that everyone has their own car, traffic is hectic and just like a 10-minute drive can be a 30-minute, 45-minute drive, depending on the hours, right?
Buses in Hawaii are so great, though. I mean, there's
Exactly.
places in the world where you can't catch a bus so easily to
Hmm.
everywhere in that area. So I think we're really fortunate that we have such good public
Hmm.
transportation so that not everybody has
Right.
to own a car. And, if we all used public transportation, it'd be much better for the environment.
Exactly.
So, I understand people not being so eager to do it right now while we don't have COVID 100% under control. But
Right.
I think me, I would like to go back to taking more public transportation as well. Um, and being, I don't know, having that be one of the ways that I'm a better global citizen.
Right. Yeah, that's why I'm really looking forward to the rail, even though it's been a long time coming and a lot of money's been put into it. I it's just like we gotta get it going, you know.
That's interesting that you say that. So, as a young person who would be feeling the tax burden of having to pay for rail for many more years, you think it's worth it?
Yeah, I do think it's worth it. That's looking past all like my personal feelings, like all the financial problems that it came with, and all the current problems it came with. But it was planned to be beneficial for the future. It's a future investment, right? And I feel like any future investment that's moving forward to like a better environment, a greener environment, less reliant on fossil fuels is pretty positive in my book.
Chris or Alan, you want to weigh in on rail?
They
For
hate it.
me,
It would
oh
make
well,
the commute more faster.
yeah, most definitely. And when it first got announced, when I first heard of it, I was really into it. I was really excited about it because it's faster than the bus. It's more sustainable and more economic, not economic, but more
Eco-friendly.
eco-friendly, right? So I was really down for it until when actual construction started because I personally thought they could have done a better job in planning it a bit more and choosing the
Right.
people who were actually participating and building it because the original budget was like $2 billion and we're almost up to like 9 billion at this point. So
I
there's a
see like
lot of
the
things that
yeah
could have
the
done
execution
better.
seemed like a little shoddy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Hopefully it works out in the end.
Yeah, see, yeah, that's our hopes now. Like, too much has been put into it already.
Yeah. Too much has been put in, so we might as well complete it now.
And do you think it's going to be a big change to have a bus stop or a rail stop at HCC?
I would think
What do you think
so.
the impact
Yeah.
will be?
Yeah, it's funny because our professors were talking about it a lot. Like, oh, be sure to plan out your routes now, guys, because once the rail starts being in construction, and it's already been in construction near HCC, and when it's being implemented, the whole layout will be shifted, right? And I think it'll be great just having something, or it'll be positive for the most part, having some like a public transportation that's not the bus, that's supplemental to the bus, that can shorten traffic. Hopefully, it might not be very like 100% capacity when it first opens. Hopefully, it'll become like very integral to our transportation, like something like Japan, or yeah, a place like Japan or Switzerland, where trail and tram and those types of public transportation are very important. And I hope that that's what rail will provide for Hawaii. So I have high hopes, but I'm kind of trying to roll that back just because what we've seen so
Yeah,
far.
so inviting the heart people to be on our podcast might be another interesting topic to hear from them about
Oh,
what's happened and what they're thinking for the future.
I think that's interesting because I think we did talk to them before in high
We
school.
did?
yeah, in high school, we definitely talked to them in high school.
Oh, high school.
I remember talking to them before. I don't think I went to the actual trip where
I didn't go either. Yeah,
oh, you
everybody
did.
else did. I didn't. Yeah, that's why I didn't get to go on it,
Oh,
but
yeah,
everybody else did. It's
yeah,
okay.
yeah. A bunch of our classmates were able to uh was it go inside the actual rail and see it, but
I think we could arrange that if you all are interested. I know we took the 2016 student government when they finished the control center place. We went over there and took a tour and got to walk on the cars and everything.
Mm,
So, especially if you invite them to the podcast, might be able to do a live tour or record the tour while we're there and the interviews.
very
great.
interesting.
Should do that. Yeah, we should totally do
Very interesting.
that. Yeah, we should totally do that, guys. Just be like, hey, when is it gonna be finished? Can you give us a number? Can you give us a date? Question one. Right
Yes,
into it.
Can I get a free pass?
now that's the question. Eh?
One of the things that our student government in the past also looked at was, would college students be interested in having a mandatory fee for transportation at our campus? And then that would cover the cost of getting a free bus pass / rail pass. But when
I see.
we did our surveys and the results came up different ways each time. So sometimes students would be in
Interesting.
favor of it and sometimes they wouldn't be. But I think with the delays now, like what you guys are saying, it seems a little intangible or unreal.
Mhm.
And so maybe that's what's impacting our survey results. But Kapi'olani Community College was able to implement a fee, and now every student gets a bus pass. And then maybe
wow.
one day when it turns to rail, we'll have more interest in having that as a student fee.
Yeah, I really think that's a possibility because I know a lot of classmates and friends that do take the bus and they pay for the year pass and stuff like that. And I feel like having that implemented, if not uh, a thing for everyone or just a choice you can make, then I feel like it would be something people would agree to wholeheartedly. But that's to be seen, right?
I think I heard you guys saying that you're going to be accepting artwork from students. So what kind of things are you looking for?
Totally. We're 100% open to most forms of art, be it pictures, photos taken, sketches, drawings, paintings, sculptures, anything you can get into digital format, like is in a picture, in a PDF, in a document, even lyrics and poems, writings, literature, all things like that. And we're trying to compile them and put them on our Art and Soul website just so that it has a platform for other people to see if you guys are willing, if anyone is willing to get their work out there. And we're also going to try and implement as much art as we can in our upcoming Art and Soul 2021 Spring Edition. So keep an eye out for that, guys. Any information we're going to be publicizing with our student media. And yeah,
Yeah, it seems like break is a good time for people to, have
yeah,
time when they're at home to either dig up some old poems they had written in a journal somewhere or work on a new piece. But take photos in all kinds of creative ways because, like we were talking about before, folks' brains are kind of
exactly.
want to get away from the screen for a while or at least just do something creative. So I think it's
Mhm.
really awesome that you all have an outlet where not only can they be creative, but they can share it with their fellow students in the world.
Yeah, guys, just we know it's been a hard time and we've been really beaten down. Just take some time, take a breather, maybe get some um your tools out, your your pen and paper, and get those art juices flowing. Anything we'll accept almost all art, hopefully, if it's not um uh scary. I don't know how to explain it. Art is subjective. It's we will gladly be able to have a platform or provide a platform for you guys to give out art, and we're also accepting artwork from staff and advisors if you
And
guys are,
alumni.
yeah, and alumni. So get the word out there, everyone, and I hope you guys have a good winter break. If you're interested in making a difference for HonCC, consider becoming a student leader. Please email hccsld@hawaii.edu if you're interested. Thank you for listening to Kala Podcast. Listen to Kala Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Anchor. New episodes every Monday. Visit thekala.net for campus news and events. And follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at HCC Kala News. Remember, guys, submit your artwork at www.honolulu@hawaii.edu/art and soul to have it featured in the Art and Soul magazine. And good luck to everyone in their finals week and enjoy your break. Thank you very much and happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy
Bye.
holidays!
I was muted. Happy holidays.